people who are watching this session, just Aryan, you're saying you can. Siddharth, all good. Satvik, all set. Okay, great. So now that I have that technical confirmation, let me just tell you a little bit about the way I'll be taking the test, how I'll be selecting the questions, and so on. So first of all, with respect to target setting, very simply, I don't have any targets. Whatever test I take, I don't keep any expectations. I don't keep any targets because first of all, I don't know the difficulty level of any test. And second of all, I don't want unnecessary pressure on myself. Okay, I don't want to be thinking about targets during the test. Very simply, I'll do the best I can. Now, with respect to the strategy for every section, in VRC, I prefer to start with the RCs because towards the end of the section, there is more of time pressure. And of course, RCs take a bit more time. So I'll first look at the RCs. I'll solve the easier ones, whichever ones are easy to read for me. And then I'll come to the VA questions. DILR, first I'll take a look at all the sets and try to start with the one that I think is the easiest based on past experience and based on to what extent I'm able to come up with a plan for the set. If I have a good plan for a set, that means it might be easy for me. Quant, I'll take things one question at a time. If I look at a question and instantly I know how to solve it, I have a very good idea, pretty good idea, I'll attempt it then and then. Otherwise, if I'm not that sure, I can come back to it later. Anything I find difficult, I will skip quickly. Now, during the test, I will try to explain my thought process as much as possible. Okay, wherever I can provide some insight, why I'm doing something, what I'm doing, I'll try to give a running commentary. But just keep in mind that this will not be the way, like this will not probably be my best performance because there's a lot of things to take care of while you're solving a mock live. Okay, first of all, of course, you can see my screen is very small. Okay, so I will really have to get close to the screen and squint a bit. And of course, when you are explaining things while you're solving, the speed is definitely reduced. So if you're watching this session, don't watch this session just for the purpose of entertainment or for the purpose of seeing what is the score. The score doesn't matter here. What matters is the thought process. What matters is the strategy, which questions I'm picking out and how I'm leaving questions, all of that. Okay, let me just check one more time whether everything is fine and then we'll begin. Of course, I won't be looking at the chat box while I'm taking this test. So any questions that you have, I will come to it after I'm done with the test at the end of 2 hours. I can see that everything is visible. So without any further ado, let's start with the test. Okay, starting off with RCs, let's see what is this one. Largest mammal migration does not involve Africa. Millions of fruit bats. Okay, this seems to be easy to read. Yeah, I feel comfortable with this one, so I might start with this one. Next, we have some verbal questions. I just want to quickly find the RCs and mark the RCs so that I don't spend too much time searching for the RCs. Next one, if I see, you can just mark it so I am tracking the RCs. Concept of planetary existence on Earth. This seems to be a bit technical. Seems to be a bit technical. I am not that comfortable with this passage. So might take a call later on, but overall not that comfortable with the content. 12 Days of Christmas, AI. This seems to be something I'm comfortable with. Content language seem easy, so this definitely I want to attempt. If I look for the next RC, okay, this one. Minecraft movie, CGI. Okay, another thing that I'm comfortable with. So only the second RC I'm not that comfortable with, so I'll come back to it later on. Which one do I start with? Migration might be a bit heavy. Okay, let's start with the movie one first. So, in fact, right now I don't need the writing part, so let me just make the screen bigger. Okay, not so long ago, trailer for next year's movie seemed determined to become the ugliest thing. Real life actors, worst facets, while the CGI. Okay, one second. I think I'll read part of this in my mind. So while I am reading, you can try to read also. Okay, first paragraph is that CGI was not good in Minecraft movie, but in the Rugrats movie, it's supposed to be good. Okay. Okay, so second paragraph is that originally the characters were strange, at least the way they were depicted was strange, and CGI with the reboot, it was possible to convey the same thing. It wasn't that good, but overall it was successful. Okay. Okay, third one is about humans and CGI, the interaction, how that will come across. Okay, so mostly overall about CGI, whether that is feasible, whether that will work or not. Okay, let's look at the questions. So the following statements is implied in the sentence, what might catapult this film into the ugly movie hall of fame is its live action CGI hybrid approach. Yeah, that is in the first paragraph. Okay, look at the options. The live action CGI hybrid format has proven to be visually unappealing, creating doubts. Success depends upon balance between human actors, animated characters. Aesthetic challenges are particularly pronounced in the Rugrats movie due to the nature of its characters, inherently flawed, involving animated characters. Demonstrate one more time. What might catapult this film into the ugly movie hall of fame because of CGI? So why will it be ugly? Because of the problem seems to be with the hybrid part. Real actors with the CGI interaction. Balance between human actors and animated characters. That seems to be the option that I would want to go with. But if I look at the question again, what might catapult this film into the ugly movie hall of fame live action? Yeah, I think this is the one because the live action CGI hybrid approach has also been mentioned. Problem is with the hybrid. I think I'll go with this. The following statements about live action CGI hybrid films best captures the arguments made in the passage. Inherently flawed, not really. Okay, they worked for other movies like Paddington and so on. Success depends on seamlessly blending animated characters with real world elements. Again, this seemed to be the major theme of the passage. Films are popular, creative exploration, not really. Poor execution risks, alienate audiences, not all of them. So I think again, I'll go with this one. Humans interacted with animals, not blob-headed babies. Okay. I think same thing along the same lines. Because of Paddington and Sonic the Hedgehog in Passage of 2. Okay. I think here Paddington and all this showing that they succeeded because interacted with animals, not the kind of characters that, not other kind of strange characters. Blob-headed characters are mentioned here also. So we are definitely looking at successful films with the hybrid. Uh, I think ultimately the last one because we are looking at successful hybrids and we are comparing with the Rugrats movie. Okay. Not too sure about it, but okay, I can mark it for review. Can check it if I have time at the end. Overall tone. Let's see. Okay, he'd watch particular type of it if it will be like that. But if I look at the rest of the passage, it didn't seem to be too enthusiastic about it. Seemed to be a bit skeptical about whether it will work. Okay, I'm not too sure about this. So again, I can come back to it later maybe. Now the next passage I seemed comfortable with was this one about AI. Let me read this. Okay, first paragraph is about the launch, comparing with the 12 days of Christmas. Launch related to ChatGPT's products, OpenAI's products. Okay, second paragraph, emphasis on products over models in these announcements. Okay, okay. About product launches, not over models. Third one about the hiccups. Okay, high demand for Sora, lingering problems like portraying complex movements, objects like four-legged animals, complex queries were a problem. Okay, checkout is a problem. Transition from chatting to doing, not just chatting, but performing tasks. Okay, last paragraph. Creating agents harder than building chatbots. Okay, trust is a problem. Sensitive data might be shared. Cost is an issue. Okay, so overall, it's about agentic AI, AI which is not just something that you're chatting with, but something that is actually performing tasks for you, uh, taking actions on a user's behalf. Okay, we look at the questions. Which of the following statements best captures the central theme of the passage? Generative AI is developing more slowly because it's hard to meet changing consumer needs. No, it wasn't really about it developing slowly, I think. Okay, next one, rivalry. No, it wasn't really about the rivalry. Next one, the move from basic chatbots to agentic exposes both the limits of current technology, high cost. This seems to be much more relevant. Last, companies focus on agentic shows both challenges and opportunities they face as they move from research efforts to market-driven solutions. Okay, last two options now I have to choose. Okay, comparison with chatbots is definitely there. Okay, not too sure about it. Maybe I'll come back to it. Next one. You're normally taught not to be a hammer looking for a nail. Okay. Focus on consumer needs. Not to be a hammer looking for a nail means first, I think, identify the normally you're supposed to identify what is the need and create the product as per the need, not create the product first and then look for the need. But that is normal. This is different. Okay. First option seems to be relevant. But you're talking about what it implies, not what it factually means. Okay. Third option, I think I can eliminate. Both also I can eliminate. And then after that, what he's saying, after 2 months, things change. Okay. I think the first one is what the sentence implies. If I forget about what is said after that, this particular sentence implies that we should normally focus on consumer needs. So I'll go with that. Next one, based on the passage, which of the following would best illustrate the potential of agentic AI? Okay. Chatbot, definitely not. First option gone. Perhaps a short story from user prompts, no. Third one, fills and submits income tax returns, definitely. Predicts, no. I think third one, safe to say this should be the correct option. This seems to be the easiest question I've come across so far. Okay, next one, which of the following, if true, would most weaken the claim about the challenges in agentic AI adoption? Okay, data on AI performance and reasoning is easy to access and integrate. That was mentioned as a challenge. Data on task performance, sequences and reasoning, hard to collect. Here, easy to access and integrate. Okay. More and more willing to share personal data, that is also there. Here it's given may also hesitate. Okay. Advances have made cheaper. Yeah, that is also there. Verifying. Okay, what is the biggest issue? Because we are looking at most weakened. So data one is the first thing mentioned, then trust, then sensitive data, cost. Ultimately, they're talking about cost a lot. Everything else is just one line, but they're talking about cost a lot. So let me, I think, go for the cost one. Slight risk, but at least I have some logic for it. Okay, now if I come to the first passage. World's largest mammal migration does not involve Africa's Serengeti or its famed wildlife. Millions of fruit bats. Okay. Okay, so it's the world's largest migration with the fruit bats. Migration tied to food availability, that's what's believed, but the scientists are puzzled based on local fruits. Dispersing seeds over vast distances, forest regeneration, deforestation, hunting threaten their population. They are near threatened. Spectacular natural event. Then the description of that. 10 and 12 million. Okay, so now they're not there for the entire year. Migrating. It's a mystery. And short trees provide an unusual roosting site for these highly social creatures. They typically prefer tall trees or urban environments. Okay. Limitations in tracking technology. GPS tags have yet to last a full year. Whether the same bats return annually. Okay. Contribute this much to ecosystem. Okay. So based on the passage, which of the following is the most plausible reason for the fruit bat's annual migration to Kasanka? Okay, most plausible one was tied to food availability. Hmm. So I think this one, because no other reason was given. It was just mentioned that people are puzzled, they don't really know. So I think this seems to be the most plausible. Yeah, seems to be safe. Scientists studying fruit bat migration face all the challenges except. Okay. GPS thing was definitely there. Technology first one. Lack of clarity. Okay. Let me just check this. Okay, challenges are there in the last one. GPS definitely. Nothing else. Then they do go into various other places after leaving the park. So maybe that is also one reason. Second option also lack of clarity for the seasonal congregation. Okay. Unpredictability of their migration routes. Difficulty in estimating the number of bats. I don't think that has been mentioned anywhere. Okay, I'll go with this one. Profound biological event. Let's see where that is here. Witnessing the millions of them rising together, which underscores their ecological significance. Okay. Not the third option, but I'm not very sure about this. I think it's about witnessing millions of bats rise together is a profound biological event. Ecological significance is being underscored, but profound part is about witnessing millions of bats rise together. So millions of bats, it's not just about the largest mammal migration or the synchronized migration of millions of birds. Okay, 1 second. Probably the largest mammalian migration in the world. I don't know if rise together, we can call it synchronized. No, I think fourth one. Last one, scientists remain puzzled about the exact reasons for fruit bat seasonal congregation for all the following reasons except limited lifespan. That is one reason, okay. Bats disperse over vast regions, that is also there. Environmental cues triggering their migration, I think that is also there. Preferring swamp forests over urban environments, that doesn't seem to be. I think this is the one I'll go with. Okay, let's look at some verbal questions now. Largest and most familiar sight in the sky. Okay, seems easy to read. Presence has bewitched observers before the time of modern human beings, millions of years ago. The moon has been regarded as a deity, poetic beauty. Okay. We've now traveled to the moon, walked on the surface, plan to return to the moon as part of program, studied its rocks and interactions. When it comes to how the moon was created, we still have only a loose collection of theories. They are humankind's best guesses. So first of all, it's about the kind of effect the moon has had on human civilization, at least on the imagination. And after that, the accomplishments we've had, but still we don't know how it was created. Okay. Captivated humans for millennia, that's there. It still remains, it's nothing, not mentioning anything about the achievements. The influence on culture and science is immense. Creation means speculative despite harm. This is mentioning everything. Okay. Third one doesn't seem that good. Last one, I think, prominent figure in the night sky has inspired myths, poetry, and scientific exploration. It's not really mentioning anything about the accomplishments there. We've traveled to the moon, walked on surface, and so on. Between its second and third option, influence on culture and science. Has it had influence on science? Modern exploration efforts. Hmm. I think continuing to intrigue humanity is still there. Plan to return to the moon as part of the program. Beauty and power in culture, that is also there. Further exploration. Okay, I think I'll go with this one. Next one. Activists, something about pollution. Okay, seems easy to read. Sentences, activists blame environmental violations at disposal facilities, though authorities deny these claims. Okay. Pollution is a harsh reality. Environmental fallout of its rapid industrial expansion. Hazardous waste, contaminated soil, water, harmful substances detected. Okay. Pollution Bureau classified the area as critically polluted. Residents continue to report worsening conditions. Allegations point to companies flouting. Okay, now we're coming to the allegations and the blame part. Companies flouting waste disposal regulations by dumping non-hazardous materials into the soil and water. Okay, then villagers describe a grim reality. Despite such concerns, dismiss unrealistic. Okay, so I think not first and fourth. First, activists haven't come into the picture. Last one, we've come to the response of the officials. So I think either second or third. Okay, but in the sentence, we also have activists blame environmental violations, the authorities deny. Okay, we have companies flouting waste disposal. Local allegation and villagers should be connected. So either I think third I can rule out, second or fourth. Second is about residents also. Residents, then local allegations, villagers seem to be connected. Okay, maybe I'll go with the fourth one. Eliminating other ones, I think I can go with the fourth one. This RC I've skipped. There's a VA question here. Celebrities. Okay, celebrities have been trendsetters in endorsement often propels accessories into must-have status. Someone who likes to be prepared, latest trend. Okay, let's come to the celebrities part. Have always been trendsetters. Okay. We're coming to the models here. Celebrity favorite. So I think fourth one seems to be the best fit. Fourth one or third one? Let's see. I think fourth one. Fourth one, celebrities are being introduced and then they are major trendsetters. Okay. If you look at, no, I don't like these kinds of questions. Postmodernism and all of that, not very comfortable with. Chances of it being challenging. Parajumbles, we can come back to later. If I look at the last three questions, uh, I think I'll come back to this. I'm looking for something easy to read. If you look at this one, skepticism is often fueled by perceived conflicts of interest, lack of transparency in scientific research. Okay. Trust in moral integrity of scientists has declined, while the majority of researchers adhere to ethical standards. High-profile cases of misconduct can create doubt. Public often questions whether scientific discoveries are truly motivated by pursuit of knowledge or financial political interests. To restore confidence, it's important. Okay, so fourth one is not the correct one. Fourth one is what to do to restore confidence. Sentence is about skepticism. Okay, why we have this skepticism? I think third one, this skepticism. See, first sentence, moral integrity has declined. Moral integrity has declined. Okay, we're not really coming to skepticism. Second sentence, create a ripple effect of doubt. But then third one, I think the public often questions whether they are truly motivated. So that's where the skepticism is coming in. So I'll go with option three. Like come back to some other VA questions. Okay, if you look at this one, the Bugis ethnic group of South Sulawesi, three genders beyond the binary. One is female characteristics, but also traditionally masculine ways. Okay. Next one, male characteristics, but traditionally feminine ways. Okay. But they don't identify as women. Okay. And last, okay. Second one, oversee weddings and manage each aspect of the ceremonies. And last, another gender, totality of masculinity and femininity, surpasses other genders, spiritual role, can wear flowers, carry secret daggers, expansive identity, spiritual rights. Okay, so we are talking about the three different genders, and something is given about all of them. The third option, I think I can eliminate. Fourth option also, I think I can eliminate. Second one is not really saying that there are three genders beyond the binary. It's mentioning them in a way that there could be others also. But it's more specific about the different three genders. Okay, I think I'll go with the second one. That is where we have some information about each of the three genders. First two, they're breaking traditional gender norms. That is there. Last one, spiritual symbol, okay. First one is not even mentioning the names of the genders. So I'll go with the second one. Okay. You see which one I missed out on so far. Central theme. I think I was stuck between the last two options. No, still not sure. I think I'll go with the fourth one because the tech companies also, that's a big theme. All the companies that have been mentioned. But then the move from chatbots to agentic AI is also there. It's also a big thing. Opportunities, is it really about opportunities? So I think I'll go with the third one. The chatting to doing part, that is a big thing, or big theme of this passage. So I'll go with the third one. And this is an RC. If I look at other BA questions, still have time for one more. Okay, but not this one. Okay, this is still left. overall tone, if I just try to look for it. Not the fourth option. Mocking issues with exaggeration. He does seem to be skeptical. He's talking about the movie going into the Ugly Movie Hall of Fame. Does seem to be skeptical, but the third option also could be correct. Is he exaggerating? That's the thing. Humorous and ironic. I don't know if I'd call this very critical and skeptical also, the tone, or humorous and ironic, mocking issues with exaggeration. Might be better to skip this question. Okay, I think I'll let it be. Don't want to take unnecessary risk. I'll just take a break, look away from the screen. I'll just check whether everything is fine. Okay, let's get ready for DI. I'll need more space for it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, this submit button is there because this is a mentor test. This particular option is only given to mentors. Okay. Now, if I look at DILR, four ecological regions, five researchers, two data sets, distribution from the four regions. It doesn't seem to be very easy. I don't want to start with that. If I look at the next one, there's not much to read. There's a leading automobile company, sells four varieties. Bar graph represents the percentage of these four varieties as a percentage of total car sales in the respective quarter. Okay, if I look at a quarter, that's adding up to 100. So every quarter, the distribution percentage-wise for the different varieties. Okay, and then we have the questions. I think this is one I can solve. At least some questions I might be able to solve. One or two questions might be difficult. That is one feasible set. Next one, 20 contestants participated in Best Chef with six judges. Each judge gave points ranging from 1 to 6. Sum total is the final score. Final score of top six were the same. While no two judges gave equal points, no two contestants among top six got equal points. Okay, so all of those will be different. So I think this is also fine. This seems like a Sudoku type of set based on the last condition. No two judges gave equal points. No two contestants got equal points, and final scores will be the same. Okay, this also seems feasible. Okay, something about 450 members, election, voting. I'm not very comfortable with this. Okay, might be possible, but right now I'm not very happy. I'll just mark it so that I'm keeping track of it. But looking at the percentages also like 26% and so on, 14%, I don't know. And there'll be a lot of, it might take a lot of time to figure it out, to understand the process. So I don't want to start with this. Okay, 16 cars, parking lot, two columns, 8 rows. Okay, red, blue, yellow. Hmm. Here the structure is there. It's been described how we'll make the table. It seems to be very deductive. Maximum difference, maximum difference. Okay. I'll just keep track of it, but I think I want to start with the this one. I think this one might be a good starting one, and then I can move to this particular one. Okay, let's start with this. So we have to, of course, make the table. So I'll just make it here C1 to C6. J1 to J6. Let me make this first. Okay, these are the problems with solving live. I have to keep a column for total score also. Okay, now I just have to make sure I put the data in the right place. It's the only mistake that might be made. So one here, skip, then three's last five. Okay, J2, C4 is 2. 1, 3, 5. Here just 2. Next beginning is 1. Skip 2, 1. Okay, next J4 we have a 6 here. I think there's too much of a, yeah, this is better. So J4 we have a 6 here. Skip 2 and 4. Okay. Then J5 we have 2. Skip 2, then 6. 1, then 3. Finally J6 at the end we have a 6, 2 and then 1. J6, C3, 1. Yeah. Okay, I think I have all the data here. Now I'll just have to make the deductions. First of all, I think total score for all the contestants were the same. Huh. I think that will be a good starting point because I will know that every candidate is getting scores from 1 to 6. 1 to 6. Yeah. So 1 to 6, what is the sum? 6 into 7 by 2. So that is 21. 21 for each of the 6 candidates. So 21 into 6 will be 126. 21. Okay, first I think I don't even need that. I can just go for 21. Total for every candidate will be 21. 1 to 6. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I'll just keep that in mind. Now, if I look at it Sudoku way, I can see there are 4 sixes. That is the most I can see. So I will need 2 more sixes. I will need 6 in J1 and J2. J1 and J2. And which rows? J1 and J2, I will need it in the row, this row. This row I need, and this row, the only place left is this one for G2. Let me just check because it's difficult to look at the data this way. Yeah, I think 6 will come here. And now I need it in one more row, which is this row. So this can only happen in J1. Okay, yeah, this seems to be fine. Sixes are there. Now, which one can I see the most? I can see three ones. So let me focus on that. Three ones, I need it now in this row, and this row. And I need it in this column, this column, this column. Okay, this row, there are multiple possibilities. This row, two possibilities. This row, also multiple possibilities. Okay, let me check. In fact, let's look at the columns or rows which I filled up most. So I can see the first row, column, I have 1, 3, 5, 6. I need a 2 and 4. 2 cannot be here. So 2 will be here, then 4 will be here. I think this is better. Then C4, I can see 1, 2, 4, 6. I need 3 and 5. Okay, both of those are possible. Next, 1, 2, 4 in the last row. 1, 2, 4. No, any of that is possible. Okay, I haven't played Sudoku in a while, but we make the best of this. If I take a bit more time, I might keep this set for later. If I can't make too many more deductions. So here, if I look at these two, 1, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, no, I cannot really see. If I look at some other, what other number do I have? I can see 3. No. 1, 2, 6, 3, 4, 5. Here I'll get 3 or 5. No. Is there anything I missed out? No. Okay, let me just start filling up. 3, 5, 5, 3. Okay, now what else? Here I need 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Cannot have 2 here, so 1 or 4. Here 2 or 4. Here 1 or 2. Okay. Now in the last column, I need a 2. Cannot have 2 in the first two places. Yeah, okay. I think I have something. Cannot have 2 in the first two places in the last column, so 2 will be here. And now 3, 4, 5. Anything possible? Okay. 2, 4, 6. I need 1, 3, 5. 3, 5. 1, 5. 1, 3, 5, anyone. Okay. Here I cannot have 1 or 2. Out of 1, 2, 3, 5 in J4, I cannot have 1 or 2, so 3 or 5. And here also I have 3, 5. So I'll make it 5, 3, and here 3, 5. 3, 5. So this will also be 2, 1, but 1 is already there. So this will have to be 2, and this should be 1. This is 1, this will be 4. Okay, this is a bit irritating. This will be 4, so this will come out to be 2. Okay, at least I have this much. Now what else? 2, 4, 6. So I need 1, 3, 5 in J2. J2, 1, 3, 5. So this will be, cannot be 1. So 5, 3. 1, 3, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 6. So I need 4, 5. Either 4 or 5 here, 5 or 4 here. I think I can answer this question right now itself. J6 gave to C5, 2. So this question is answered. Okay, there we might not be able to find everything. So let's come to the questions. If J6 gave 5 points to C2, if 5 points to C2, so I'll put, yeah, I don't know what's happened here. If I have 5 here, I'll circle it so that I know it's extra information. Then what best can be said about points given by J5 to C2? I have 5 here, then this will be 3. There will be 3, this will be 5. And this will be 3. What am I looking for? J5 to C2. Okay, I'm still far away from that. Okay, I can see in the first row, I will get a 4. First row, I will 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 3, 6. So this should be 4. And this also I'll mark 5, 3 for now. Now, if I look at the numbers, I have 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, which columns do I need 1 in? I need 1 here. I have here, here. I need 1 here. So I need 1 in these 2 columns. And which 2 rows? I need a 1 here. And I need a 1 here. Okay, both are possible. Okay, let me just check a bit. If I look at the missing ones, 2, 6. What about 1, 3, 5? Here I cannot have 1. Here I cannot have 1. So this will be 3 or 5. 3 or 5, 5, 3. So, okay, 1 second. 1, 2, 6. So 1, 3, 5, 4 is also there. 4 I cannot have here. Okay. No, right now I can't say much. We come to the next one. If J4 gave 3 points to C1, 3 points to C1, that's the situation I've marked. In how many ways? Okay, that also seems time consuming. So the following is definitely incorrect. J5 gave 3 points to C2. I don't know. J4 gave either 3 or 5 points to C1. That is correct. J3 gave 4 points to C3. No, that is incorrect. No, sorry, sorry. 3 points to C3, that is possible. J5 gave 3 points to C2. I don't know. If J6 gave 3 points to C2. Again, okay. I think this set is a difficult one. I might skip it now. I think I'll skip this. Okay, let's come to this one. Seems like the DILR section might be difficult, might be tough to solve a set also. Okay, so we have following 4 varieties of cars. So the quarter one. So if you look at, I think I'll come to the question. Data is there. I don't have to make a table. So if the number of SUVs sold in Q2, all of these are the same. Total sales in Q1. Okay, this seems to be more manageable. SUVs sold in Q2. So I'll take A 100A, 100B, 100C, 100D as Q1 to Q4. So SUVs in Q2, SUVs or in 125B. Hatchbacks in Q4, that will be 30D. sedans in Q3. Sedans in Q3, 30C. And EVs in Q1. EVs in Q1, that will be 10A. These are equal, so let all of these be equal to LCM. LCM of 25 and 10 is 50. 50 and 3, let's make it 150. Okay, 150. So A, B, C, D, if I look at the ratio, A will be 15, B will be 6, C will be 5, D will also be 5. Okay, so if I look at the total sales, 15, 5, 5, that is 25 plus 6, 31 into 100, 3100. And out of that, I want total sales in Q1, that's 100A, 1500. 1500 by 3100, 1500 by 31. Options are close, but anyway, if I calculate 31 into 4 will be 124. 26 remaining, 260. So 31 into 8, 248, and then a bit more than that. So I'll go with this only, 48 point something. Okay, if we come to the next one, assuming total sales in Q1 at 100,000, each sales in subsequent quarter increased by 10% over previous quarter, total annual sales of sedans. Okay, just a calculative one. So first one, if I look, sedan 35% of 100,000, and then next one 10% more. So 110,000, then 10% more, 121,000, and then 133,100. Huh. Now sedan 35%, then 40%, then 30%, and finally 25%. This is 35,000, this is 44,000, 30%, so 36,300. Last one is the one where, let me just use the calculator. 33275. Okay, so if I just add these up, 30, 40, 30, 30, 1,30,000, 6453, that's 18,000. So 1,48,000 we've got. And if I look at the hundreds, 575, 1,48, 575. Yeah. Okay, if I look at the next one, next one is if the sales of EVs in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 ratio of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if I just write down for EVs first quarter, so 10, second quarter 15, next 15, all of them, okay, 15. All of those are 15, and I have 2 is to 3 is to 4 for these. And here I have 1. So let me take care of this part first, 15, 15, 15, and 2, 3, 4. If I make B 2, okay, I can take B to be 2x, so 30x, C to be 3x, 45x, and D here, 4x, so I can take 60x. And here it has to be half of this. This has to be 15x. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm getting A is equal to 1.5x, B is 2x, C is 3x, D is 4x. You can just check this. Yeah, seems to be fine. Then which quarter was the second highest number of sedans sold? Okay, so sedans 35 in the first quarter, that will be multiplied with 1.5. 35 into 1.5, 52.5. Next, it will become double 80. Next, it will become 3 times 30 into 3. So 90. And last 4 times 100. Okay, should be the last one. Should be the last one. So I'll go for 4. The number of hatchbacks sold in the same is the same in each quarter. In which quarter were SUV sales the lowest? Hatchbacks sold is the same. Okay, seems like an easy one. Similar to the first one. Hatchbacks, yellow ones, so 25A, 20B, 20C, 30D. Let all of them be equal to LCM of 20, 30 is 60. And for 25, I need another 5, 300. So A, B, C, D, if I get the ratio, 12, 15, 15, 10. In which quarter SUV sales were the lowest? SUV orange one first, 30 into 12, 360, 25 into 15, 375, 35 into 15, 525. And last 30 into 10, 300. So definitely the third one. Yeah. Okay, that was the easy one. This set took a lot of time, but it seems to be difficult. I guess I should have looked at the questions also. That would have given me a hint that there could be multiple cases. Now in this limited time, which one? This one will take time. Can go for this one, but if I look at the questions, here the questions seem mostly direct. This one, do I want to start with? How many such tables? No. So I think I'll go for the last one. I'll try this. Now, of course, there's a chance I might not be able to solve any more sets. In that case, it might just be 15 questions. This one I'm still not sure about. Okay, let me just take a look at this. 10 minutes. If I can't do anything, I'll come back to that one. So we have 16 cars. Two columns, 8 rows. Okay, so if I try to make it like this, column 1, column 2. Column 1, we have from 1 to 8. Let me make a double line here. Column 2, we have from 9 to 16. Okay, in column 1, there are 4 red cars. What are the different colors? Red, blue, yellow. Okay, so I have 4 red in column 1. Not true for column 2. I so don't have 4 red in column 2. Column 1, so what happened? In column 1, equal number of blue and yellow. So 2 blue, 2 yellow. Column 2 also equal number of blue, yellow. Okay. Okay, we have some more information. So first of all, no red cars are parked in slots 13 to 16. In fact, instead of this, let me just put blue, yellow. Okay, not red is good enough. Slot 8 also. Maximum difference between slot numbers of red cars is 10. Maximum difference is 10. Okay. Maximum difference blue cars is 13. Yellow cars is 12. Okay. Someone here in the last number will be blue or yellow. Now, whether it is blue or yellow, can I have blue or yellow in these two places? Because if I have 16 and 1, difference will be 15. 16 and 2, difference will be 14. I can just have maximum difference of 13 for blue or yellow, 13, 12. So first two slots seem like they will not have blue or yellow. That's the deduction I can make looking at the extreme numbers. Okay, before that we have some plug-in points also. Slot 10 is occupied by a red car and 14 blue car. If 14 is by a blue car and column 2, exactly 2 are adjacent. Okay. I think column 2 I can make a deduction. We have two red cars adjacent, two yellow cars adjacent also, two blue cars. So 2, 2, 2 I have for all of them. This much I definitely know. Now I cannot have 4 red here. 4 red. And if I have 3 red, the problem will be that blue and yellow will not be able to be equal. So I will have 2 red only. And then I will have 3 blue and 3 yellow. I think that deduction is fine. Now I've plugged in no two red cars in column 1 are parked in adjacent slots. Okay, that makes things a bit difficult. Because how will we sort the first two then? Let me see. See, if I have blue here, then blue 1 and 14, I get maximum difference of 13. If that works, but then these two will have to be yellow. I think that's the only way that will work because both of these now they can't be red. What I initially thought that was wrong. Both of these cannot be red. But here both of them can be the same color, so that can work. Okay. So I think blue, can I have blue here or here? Let me just check. If I have blue here, then maximum, so I will have two here blue. Possible. Okay, both of these can't be red. So one of them has to be non-red. The yellow putting here will not work because definitely one of these will have to be yellow. One of these has to be yellow. Uh, and then I will get maximum difference of more than 14. So yellow will not work. Now either I can have red here, but then this one cannot be red. Then this one will have to be blue or yellow. Yellow again, if I have 215, I'll get, or 216, I'll get 13 though. So this will be blue in that case. So either I can have red, blue like this, 214, then this will also have to be blue. I'll just circle because I'm not sure about this. I'll get difference of 13 for blue. I need difference, then this will be yellow. I'll need difference of 12 for yellow. Difference of 12 for yellow, so yellow will be in 4. Okay, first of all, see, I think 4 red and they can't be adjacent, so let me just try this out. If I have red will have to be alternate in that case. In fact, let me fix the ones which are, let me circle the ones which are fixed. I think this is fixed and this is fixed. Others I can just try out. Okay, so if I try this, red, 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 red. Okay, in fact, I think I can fix this, yeah. So I've got a point. This cannot be red, but I need 4 reds in column 1 and they cannot be adjacent and there are just 8. So I will get alternately. This will be red. This will be red. That was given, right? Slot 8 red. So red, 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 and red. Yeah, I think this is correct. I can remove this. And maximum difference, red cars is 10. So if I have minimum 1 here, maximum I'll get 11 here. So that I get that maximum difference of 10. Okay, this seems to be fine. Now if I look at blue and yellow, see if I put yellow here, the problem is one of these will be yellow. So I'll get that difference of more than 12. This will not work. This will have to be blue. Blue, I need difference of 13. So I will need a blue here also. Okay, these are the two blues which are adjacent here. These are the two reds which are adjacent. I need two yellows adjacent. That will only happen here and here. Now I need one more blue and one more yellow. But here I cannot have another blue. I will have a yellow. Here I will have a blue. Yellow difference should be 12. Okay, so 16. So I will have yellow here. Okay, things are fitting in. Now two blue, two yellow. So I need one more blue, one more yellow in these two places. Do I have any other information? I've satisfied the exactly two adjacent. I've satisfied the maximum difference. Red is 10, yellow is 12, blue is 13. Yes. So I think I've satisfied and I can't find this blue, yellow or yellow, blue. I don't know. I look at the question, which of the following sets of three slots definitely have three colors, three cars of three adjacent colors? Okay, so three slots have three adjacent. So 2, 6, 11. Blue, I don't know for 6. Okay, I'll avoid the options which have 6 and 8 because I don't know. That just leaves me option 3. 6, 8, I don't know. So 7, 12, 16, if I just check, 7 are 12 yellow. No, 16 is also yellow. Okay, is there a mistake maybe? Hmm. Okay, sorry. 6 and 8 will definitely have different colors. One will have, in fact, I'll write it down so that I can see it easily. I went blank for a moment, but yeah, I think I figured this out. 6 and 8 will have different, and then 11 will have red. Yeah, this is the correct option. Okay, which of the following options has adjacent slots occupying the cars of the same color? 9 and 10. No, okay, same color I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 14, 15, same color. Yeah. Color of the car occupying slot 16, yellow. Cars are to be rearranged. Now, after all this effort, if I have to rearrange, not looking forward to that. Uh, all the blue cars occupy the adjacent slots, beginning from slot 1. Yellow cars ending with slot 16. Remaining slots are occupied by red cars. Okay, minimum number of cars that will be shifted. Let's do one thing. Let's circle these. And now let's put in as per the new arrangement. So slot 1, starting from slot 1, blue cars. How many blue cars? 5 blue cars. So I will have blue. Similarly, I have 5 yellow cars. Slot 16. And remaining red cars. Minimum number that will have to be shifted. There are 6 red cars. Which ones are not shifted? This one is not shifted. This one is not shifted. This one is not shifted. Okay, which others also, which ones are not shifted? So let me just think of it this way. Which ones will definitely not be shifted? 1 second. So this 12 will not be shifted. 12 remains yellow. 13 will not be shifted. 16 will not be shifted. What else? 2 will not be shifted. So, okay, if I just check this, all of these will be red. Let me just fill these up. All these will be red. Now I can systematically check. So in the first one, red, blue, that is being shifted. Okay. Second one, not shifted. Third one, shifted. Fourth one, shifted. 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 Seventh one is not being shifted. Next shifted. This 10th is not being shifted. 11th is not being shifted. Okay, so which ones are not being shifted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 16, 7 are not being shifted. So the remaining 9 should be shifted. If I just check this, 1, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 14, 15. Yeah, I think this is correct. Okay, now should I even go back and try this? Because do I have a theta question? Theta question, let me guess something. Here in this option, how many ways can the points of 6 contestants? Mostly I was getting 2 ways for most of them. Let me just go with 2. Anyway, this is a guess. No point overthinking it. Happens maximum value of the number of votes. Too many votes here. Anyway, I'll just guess something. Total number of data sets. Do I have any numbers? Okay, seems I'll just go with 100. Unique valid tables. I think I'll go with 1. Maybe this is a trick question and they just have 1. Okay. Good enough. Not a great one because I think that Sudoku one, maybe on a better day, I could have solved. But overall, I'm still fairly okay with it because ultimately I didn't miss out on the last set. At some point after 15 minutes, I thought better not to waste more and more time. And my mistake was that I did not look at the questions first. Okay, so something to learn from. Now let's get ready for quant. Okay, quant Jitin borrows 64,000, 12.5% compounded. Repays in 2 installments, second installment 10% less than the first. Hmm. Installment questions fine. So he's starting off with 64,000. At the end of 1 year, interest will be 1/8. 1/8 of 64,000, 8,000. So we'll have 72,000 due. Out of that, let's say he pays 10x. Okay, this is the first installment. Now this will be due in the second year. And then we'll have again 12.5%. So again 9/8 of it. I have to divide by 8. Let me take this as 80x. Okay, so how much will be remaining? 9981 and 90x. And then this will be amount due at the end of the second year. And this will be equal to the second installment, which is 10% less than the first one. 10% less than 80x will be 72x. So 81,000 divided by 162. 81 into 2 will go there. 500 into 80. So 40,000. 500 into 80, 40,000. Let me just check this. 72,000 minus 40,000, 32,000 into 9/8. 436. And 40,000, 10% less. Yeah, correct. Okay, simple enough. I knew exactly how to solve. So that's why I attempted the question. Second question, if I look at three identical circles, equilateral triangle, okay, ratio of the perimeter to sum of the circumference. I feel comfortable, but seems like some calculation. I will attempt this, but I'll come back to this. This one, again, will take some time. I'll come back to it. Log 1. This seems to be a bit easier. Okay, 26 by 5, that is log a base 32 plus 1 by log a base 32, x plus 1 by x. So I can see 5 plus 1 by 5. Yeah, so one of them will be 5. Either log 32 is 5, is 32 to the power 5, and options are also somewhere along that. Otherwise, if I put 1 by 5, 32 to the power 1 by 5 doesn't seem likely. Okay. B also same thing. B also same thing. So 32 to the power 5. In fact, let me just solve the quadratic. I think that's how the question is designed because we don't have that. X plus 1 by x is equal to 26 by 5. So 5x, sorry, let me just multiply everything with 5x. I get 5x square, 5 and minus 26x. So 5x square minus 25x minus x. 5x, x minus 5 minus 1. Okay, why was I doing this? Obviously 5 or 1 by 5. Okay, anyway, 26 by 5, here also 26 by 5. So one of them 1 by 5. Okay, let's see. Log b to the base 32, if I make it 1 by 5, 32 to the power 1 by 5. Uh, what is it with respect to 2? 2 to the power 1. This is coming out to be 2 to the power 1. And one of them I can take to be 32 to the power 5, which will be 2 to the power 25. So 2 to the power 25 plus 2. Yeah. So slightly tricky, but overall not that difficult. Some of the absolute values of the roots of the equation, absolute values of the roots. Okay, if I look at the roots, best way is to look at the sum of all the roots. Let's call them PQRS. I'll just try this for 1 or 2 minutes. If it doesn't work, I'll skip it. Because, okay, sum of the roots one at a time is coming out to be fractions minus 1 by 3. PQRS is coming out to be 1. No, I don't want to go into all the possibilities. I don't want to attempt this. Seems time consuming. Okay, maybe there's a simpler way, but I don't want to risk it right now. Next one, percentages. I'm definitely comfortable with this. So boys, girls, 30% are girls. If I take 30x and 70x, 70% of the boys and 30% of the girls are from urban. So boys, urban, rural, girls, urban, rural. And I'll keep adjusting as per the values. 70% of the boys, 70, 49x, and therefore remaining 21x. 30% from urban, so that is 9x, and this will be 21x. Yeah. All students from urban areas are rich. Okay, 1/3 of the girls from rural areas are poor. Girls from rural areas, poor, will be 1/3, so 7x. 3/7 of the boys from Okay, thankfully divisible by 7. 3/7 of this will be 9x. Poor. All of these are rich. All of these are rich. Okay, so here also I can put rich. Rich will be the remaining 12x. Rich will be the remaining 14x. What percentage of students in the class are poor? So 9x are poor. Okay, I should have read the question first. 9x, 7x, 16x out of total 100x. So 16%. Easy question. I think I took too much time to solve it, considering how easy it was. Okay, other things are also to be taken care of. Okay, next one, if I see n by d is a proper fraction reduced to the smallest form, n is increased 3 times successively by 60%, decreased 3 times successively by 10%, new fraction becomes reciprocal. I can try this out. N 3 times increased by 160%, 1.6 to the power 3. This will become decreased, so 0.9 to the power 3. So I can just do it as 16 by 9. 16 by 9 whole cube. And this becomes reciprocal. This becomes d by n. Okay. So n by d whole square is equal to 9 by 16 whole cube. If I take the square root, I'll get n by d. Square root of 9 will be 3, and here I will get 4. 3 by 4 whole cube. So 27 and 64, and difference will be 37. Okay. Okay, find the value of this up to an infinite number of terms. No, doesn't seem easy. Which of the following values cannot be taken by this for real values of x? Something like AMGM, similar question I remember from the CAT. 1 by, if I divide both numerator denominator by x, this will be 1 by x plus 2. Let's call this 5 by x first, and then plus 2. So for this, I can use AM greater than equal to GM. I'll show it for the people watching. X into 5 by x will be 5. So this will be 2 root 5. Okay, this will be 2 root 5. And what is root 5? 2.25 approximately. So I'll get 4.5. Minimum is 4.5. If I put this as 4.5, 1 by 4.5, which is 2 by 9. So at least 2 by 9. I calculate this, 0.1 by 9 is 0.11, so this is 0.22. And this was the minimum value. So if I increase it, my denominator will increase, overall value will decrease. So it has to be less than 0.22. 1 by 7, 1 by 6, both of them are fine. Okay, and the other one, if I look at negative, this will be maximum minus 4.5. So I'll get minus 2.5. So minus 2 by 5, which is minus 0.4. No, I think I'm making some mistake here. Doesn't seem to be that easy. So I'll come back to it. Zoo has two types of animals. Okay, I think I have to pick up the speed. Two types of animals. Number of animals type D is at least 10% more than A. 5 heads, 7 legs. 2 heads, 3 legs. Okay. So if I take A and B as the total, total number of these two types of animals is 100. So I'll take A plus B is 100. And B is at least 10 more than A. Okay, 10% more than A. If I look A, 5 heads. So total number of heads, if I count, 5A and 2B, and legs, if I count, so that will be 7A plus 3B. Okay, now difference between total number of heads and legs. We look at the difference 2A plus B. I can just use the option now. If I check the first option 106 and use it with this equation, I will get B will cancel off, A will be 6. B is 10% more. That is fine. Let me check the other extreme, 148. Then I will get A is equal to 48, B will be 52. And then 10% more, no, it will not be. So 148 seems to be fine. Good use of the options. We look at the next one, area of the trapezium perimeter. Let me try this quickly. If I can get it quickly, all good. AD is perpendicular to both AB and CD. So we have a perpendicular. Let's call this AD, both AB and CD. Okay. Something like this. AD is perpendicular to both AB and CD. Okay, if AB is 18, CD is 24, and put here, this will also be 18, 6. Area is 168. I take X, 18X plus 3X, 168. 21X, 168, X will be 8. Okay, seems easy. So 8, 6, 10. So I'll get 8, 18, 18 will be 36. Another 6 and 10. Okay, if I just add these up, 18, 18 is 36. 36 plus 8 plus 6 is 14. So 50 plus 10, 60. Just check one more time. 14, 36, 50, 60. Yeah. Okay, what happened? No. Vessel contains 30%. Wait, why is this happening? Okay, I think it's been separated. See, these are the issues which make the live solving a little bit challenging. But anyway, we are just looking for easy questions, so nothing to get flustered about. So a vessel contains 30% acid solution, acid and water. 40 liters is removed, replaced with water. And the concentration of acid in the new solution is 25%. Okay. So let's say we have 100x, which acid is 30x, water is 70x. 40 liters is removed. So that will be in the same ratio. 30% of 40 liters, that will be 12. And here 70, 28, and then replaced with water. Okay, anyway, I can just look at you can look at the acid, 30x minus 12. That will be 25%. So 100% will be how much? 100% will be 120x minus 48. And total is remaining the same. So 100x. So 20x will be 48, and therefore 100x will be into 5, 240. Next one, four distinct natural numbers. A is equal to, I have relation between A and B and C and D, B minus D, 17. Okay. The value of the product of A and C is. Okay, so if I look at this, B minus D is 17. Now B is A to the power 4 by 3 minus D is C to the power 6 by 5. This is 17. Oh, natural numbers. Okay. So for A, I have to think of a perfect cube. If I look at 27 and then 27, I'll get 81 minus, I'm just trying things out. Uh, okay, now two options I can see have powers of 2. So let's try out with powers of 2. If I look at 2 cube, 2 cube, A if I take as 8, then I will get 2 cube, 2 to the power 4, that will be 16, that will not work. So let me take some other power of 2, 16. No, in that case will be 64. Okay, let me just think of it this way. Something to the power of 4 minus something to the power of 6, whether I'm getting 16. So something to the power of 6. If I look at 2 to the power 6, which is 64. If I add a 17, I will get 81. Perfect. So I'm getting A is 3 to the power 3. Yeah, and C is uh, 2 to the power 5. Okay, so 27, 32, 810 and 54, 864. Yeah, trial and error worked well. Next one, distance between city A and B. This much, two men started walking from A and B towards each other. Person who started from A walked at a constant speed, start from B, speed increase progressively. Where will they meet each other on the way? I think I've done this kind of question before. Just have to keep tabulating. So first person A and B combined in the first hour will be 4 plus 2, which will be 6. Next 4 plus 2.25, so that will be 6.25. Next 6.5. We continue like this until we get 136. That is in AP n by 2 to a mm, let me try this out. 12 minus 1 by 4. Okay, 11 3 by 4. 11 3 by 4, that will be 47 by 4. I'm already not liking this question. Plus n by 4. 47 plus n by 4 I can think. So 4 will go there. 272 into 4. 1088. N into n plus 47. Let me just try looking for convenient values. See, if I take n to be 10, I'll get 10 into 57. That will not work. If I take 20, I'll get 20 into 67. That will be a bit much. Let me look at last digit. If I look 19, 9 plus 7 will be 6. 9 into 6 will not give me 8. If I look at 18, I'll get 5. No. 17 and 64. 7 into 4, 8. So I'll go with this. You can check quickly. Yeah, perfect. So I'll take n to be 17. In 17 hours, the first person A would have walked 68. And then on the way from city B. So 136 minus 68, that will be 68 itself. Okay. Okay, Ramesh and Suresh have some trousers, some shirts, same quality, 3 trousers, 5 shirts, uh, 5 trousers and 3 shirts. Okay, and difference between cost price. Okay, so if I take cost price. I'll take X and Y. Shirts and trousers. Okay, let me take shirts to be X and trousers to be Y. So 5X plus 3Y is cost price for Ramesh. And into 5 by 4 profit, I'll get 4,800. 4,800 into 4 by 5. If I calculate this should be 960 into 4, 3,600 and 240, 3,840. Similarly, next one, 3 shirts and 5 trousers. And here 4,800, 11.11, 1 by 9, so 10 by 9, 480 into 9. 480 into 9, 3,600 and 720, 4,320. I can see 5x, 3x, 3y, 5y. So I can first add them up. 8x plus 8y is 7,000, 8,160. 8,160. Dividing by 8, I'll get x plus y, which is 1,020. Yeah, and if I can just multiply this with 3x plus 3y, what do I need? I need difference. So I need x minus y. Okay, let me just find the difference. 2x minus 2y. Sorry, 2y minus 2x. That will be 4,320. So 480. I'll get 240. Yeah. It's not my usual speed. Usually I'm a bit faster at this, but this whole solving it live usually makes me a bit slower, but I think this is good enough. You're selecting easy questions. If you look at this one, no, this seems like it'll take time. This one, area of the segment. This seems easy. Okay, this seems easy. I have a good plan. So this is 120 and center. So this will be radius 30, 30. 1:1 root 3. So this will be 16, 16, 16 root 3. Okay, so now area of segment, area of sector. So 1/3 of area of this triangle. 1/3 of area of this triangle. Let me just make it this way. Sorry, 1/3 of area of the circle. What am I doing? Pi r square, pi into 256. So 256 pi by 3 minus area of the triangle. Triangle I can convert to 30, 60, 90. So this will be 8 root 3, 8 root 3. And I'll get 8 here. So half into base into height. Half into 16 root 3 into 8. Okay, now area of the circle is 256 pi. Area of the shaded region to the area of the circle. Okay, so this is to 256 pi. If I simplify this, what am I getting? I'm getting 256 pi by 3 minus 64 root 3, and this is to 256 pi. Cancelling off with 64, I'll get 4 pi by 3 minus root 3 is to 4 pi. All the ratios have 1. Okay, so let's divide by 4 pi. So I'll get 1 by 3 minus root 3 by 4 pi. Yeah, third option. Okay, next one, management plan to change the salary. Salary of A is reduced by 25%, B increased by 20%. B will become twice the salary of A. Okay. A, B, C. But I have Q and P. Let's see. I'll give it a little bit of time. If I take this as 4 and it becomes 3, and this 5, it becomes 6, and then becomes twice the salary of A. So this is perfect. I can take 4x, 5x, and I'm getting 3x, 6x. If the salary of B is increased by 50%. Okay, so I'm talking about original salaries only. 50%, that means it'll become, let me now make it double, 8x, 10x. So 50% will be integer 15x. C is increased by 20%, salaries will be equal. So, okay, let me make it 20%. So 6 by 5. Okay, let me again make it double. 16, 20, 30, 30. 6 by 5, 25x. Yeah, I think so. We can take these to be the original salaries. And we have A is increased and C is decreased to make the salary equal. Q is 80% of P. Okay. A is increased, decreased to make the double. Let me see whether convenient values will fit, because many times questions are designed with convenient values. Make it 20. It's increasing by how much? 1/4, 25%. Decreasing by how much? 1/5, which is 20%. I'm getting Q is 80% of P. If I make this 4/5, 80%, yeah, perfect. Sometimes you can just try out convenient values and it works. So P minus Q, 25, 25. I didn't want to think about it too much. I just wanted to check whether something easy will work, and thankfully something did. So if I have next 5 distinct integers, product is 45, maximum possible value. Okay, probably AMGM. So product is 45. Okay, so if I, 1 second. No, not too sure. Okay, let me come back. N friends planned a trip, decided to contribute total cost based on number of rides each person took. Each friend's contribution was distinct. Average contribution was 5,000. Okay, Ramesh had contributed least. Revise his share to 9 times. So, okay. Okay, so from X, if he made it 9x, that's an increase of 8x, change of 8x. Average became 5,000, from 5,000 to 6,000. So total was 5,000 N, and that became 6,000 N. Increase of 1,000 N. So 8x, we can call it 1,000 N, and X will be possible values, Ramesh's original X only. So 125 N, 1000 N by 8, 125 N. And contributions or multiples of 10. So multiple of 10. Okay. So if I take N has to be a multiple of 2 then. So I can get 250, 500, 750,000 and so on. But till what point? Can I make it till 5,000? Can I make it more? Not very sure about this. Okay, let me not waste time. Let me just guess something. 25 into 10 to 25 into 200. Probably, okay, 250 into 1, 250 into 20. So let me just check 20, but I'm pretty sure this is wrong. Just don't want to waste more time. Okay, workshop has 12 machines of equal efficiency. They can finish assembling a product in 10 hours working together. Group of 6 machines start working at 10 a.m. Additional machine from 2 p.m. What time? Okay. So let's say their efficiency is 1 unit per hour. So the total work is 12 into 10, 120. Now 6 machines. So they'll do 6 units. Then we'll have one additional machine every 2 hours. So first 2 hours we'll have 6. So 2 into 6. Next 2 hours, 2 into 7. And it will continue like this, 2 into 8 and so on. So we're getting 12, 14, 16 and so on until we get 120. Okay, let's do it manually. 18, 20. So 16 into 5, this will be 80. And next will be 22, so 102. And next will be 24, but that will exceed 120. So last, what will we have? This was 2 into 11. Now we will have 12 machines. 9, 10, 11, 12 machines. How much will be remaining? This was 102. 18 was remaining. So 18 by 12. So that will take 1.5 hours more. How many hours? Okay. So 2, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 into 6, 12 hours. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. this will become. 10 p.m. and 1.5 hours more. Sorry, this started. Oh, okay. Silly mistake. This is what happens when we don't read the question carefully. They're starting at 10 a.m., but one machine is added starting from 2. Okay, so 10 a.m. we have 6, uh, 10, 11, 12, 1. 4 hours are passing, so for 4 hours we have 6. And then we are getting one more machine for the next 2 hours. 2 hours we have 7. Okay, then 2 hours we have 8. Okay, so this is continuing in this manner. So we have 24, 14, 16, 2 into 9 will be 18, 2 into 10 will be 20. How much do we have? This is 30, 50, and 42. We have 92, and 2 into 11 will be another 22. So 114. And we will have 12 now and 6 remaining. So another half an hour more. There's only one option with half an hour, so I'll go with that. I don't want to calculate. Okay, which of these represents the range of x? Why is this happening? Okay. Which of these represents the range? Okay, so I think this is x minus 5 mod minus 6 greater than 4. So it will be either greater than 4 or it will be less than minus 4. Or can I try eliminating options? Let me try that. Seems a bit complicated otherwise. For example, 3, 7. So if I try out 3, 3 minus 5 minus 2, mod of that 2, 2 minus 6 will be minus 4, 4. So 3, 7 not satisfying. So option 3 is eliminated. Now option 2 and option 4, what's the difference? First of all, let me check minus, or let's say 15. 15 if I check. 15 minus 5, 10. 10 minus 6, 4. 4 is not, okay, that's not correct. So 15 is not satisfying. So first option is eliminated. Now between second one and fourth one, minus 5 till minus 5, then starting from 15. So something like 4 is there in the last option, but not there in the second. So if I try 4, I'll get 4 minus 5 minus 1. So 1, 1 minus 6, 5. 5 is working. So 4 is working. So I think this one. Yeah. Now what is left? This one. This one I think I can solve. We come to this. Okay, what do we have? Ratio of perimeter of triangle, sum of the circumference of the two circles. See, if I make here, Will this work? I'm not sure. I think better than that, maybe I can go here. 60, so maybe 30. And this will be R, and this will be R, and this will be the same thing. So if opposite 30 I have R, opposite 60 root 3 R, root 3 R. So this total is becoming 2R plus 2 root 3 R. So root 3 plus 1 into 2R. Perimeter of the triangle, so 3 times of this, so 6R into root 3 plus 1 to sum of the circumference. So 3 times of, again, 3 will be there in both of them, so I'll just keep it like this. Circumference 2 pi r, 2 pi r. So r will cancel off, 2 will cancel off. Root 3 plus 1 is 2 pi. Root 3, 1.73, 2.73 divided by 3.14 approximately. 0.86. Okay, I hope this is correct. No, which one? X plus 1 by x is 5. So var 4 plus 1 by x to the power 4. If I try to simplify this, x square y plus y by x square. No. Okay, maybe this one I can come back to it. I don't think I have enough time, but I can try. 1 by x plus 5 by x plus 2. If I look at EMGM by 2 greater than equal to 5, so 2 root 5. So if I take negative 1 minus 2 root 5, that's 2 into 2.25 minus 4.5 plus 2, so minus 2.5 minus 2 by 5 minus 0.4. So this has to be greater than. Both of these are greater than. Even if I check 1 by, sorry, 4.5 and 2, 6.5. So that will be 2 by 13. If I calculate 2 by 13, 0.15. And what is this? This is minimum. If I increase, it will become smaller. So it can be smaller, can't be more. Can't be more. So I think can't be 1 by 6. Okay. So I think this is all that I can do. Nothing more now. So let's just wait to see the scorecard. Overall, I'm pretty happy with quant, okay with DILR. Verbal, of course, I have no idea. But overall, I'm fine with my performance considering the limitations of the live solving. Let's see how it actually, okay, I can see verbal went pretty terribly. Verbal went pretty badly, out of touch. Uh, DILR was fine, 20. Quant went well. I think, yeah, I didn't get any negative marks in quant. Yeah, so I think verbal is, of course, one area that I knew that would not be great because verbal I haven't really practiced in a while. So I'll have to check. Of course, I'll have to analyze each and every question. Let me see. Difficulty in estimating the number of bats involved in the migration is what I selected. Unpredictability. What was the question? All the following challenges. Unpredictability was not there. 10 to 12, only 1 million. Was that there? Ah, okay, I think I missed out on this part. If I look at something else, uh, why is 3 wrong? Disperses focus, does not emphasize the mystery of the moon's creation as effectively as option 4. It continues to intrigue, which is not the point. Only its origin. Okay, huh. Yeah, so I wasn't too careful with this. Okay. At least I have an idea what went wrong. If I look at this one, option 3 was the right one. I selected option 4. Okay, option 3 was after local allegations and then villagers. Okay, why is that? Placing at the end is after health impact official dismisses is unsuitable. Okay, why did I think I meant to mark option 3 for this, as far as I remember. Okay, I'm not sure now, but I think or maybe I meant to mark option 2. Okay, I'm not sure of this. Anyway, I think a lot of work is required for me personally in VRC because I've been out of touch with it for a long time. So in order to improve with VRC now, what I would do is, if I give you an idea, I would be spending a lot of time with the solutions because clearly my accuracy wasn't good in VRC. Normally, I've done well in the CAT in VRC, but because of lack of practice, my maybe my understanding of the correct logic has decreased in recent years. So what I would do is I would spend time with the solutions and try to figure out from each solution what is the correct logic to be used, what was wrong with my logic, and what logic I had to use to eliminate the incorrect options. So that is something I'll have to spend time with. If I check DILR, this was of course a guess. If I check others, this was also a guess. These turned out to be wrong. These I was pretty sure about. Answer 3. Oh, okay, of course. I think I read this as the highest number of sedans sold, but it was the second highest. Okay. And was SUV sales the lowest? I think, did I mention this as the highest? So I think these are silly mistakes because of the reading part. I didn't read carefully. If I check this, SUV sales the lowest. I think I selected this third one. Third one, yeah, but I wanted the lowest one. Lowest will be how much? SUV last 30, this would be 300. So this would be fourth only. So I think I missed out on 6 marks in DILR because I didn't read the question properly. This one, I just read this as highest instead of second highest. And this one, next one, I read this as highest instead of lowest. Very, very silly mistakes, but I think it's because I think it's fair to say that because of handling all the life solving and all of that, maybe I wasn't concentrating too well. But again, these silly mistakes, at least now I can be more aware of in the next test. So my takeaway the next time I take DILR will be, or even in quant, before marking the correct option, I will read the question one more time. I'll make sure that I'm reading every. See, I'll tell you, I don't want to give an excuse, but of course, my screen size is a bit smaller now, so I'm not being able to read that properly right now. But I would still say that next test onwards, I will make sure that I read the question one more time before I mark the correct option. This was easy 6 marks, which I did all the work for, but I missed out on the marks. Okay, these were theta. This turned out to be wrong. Surprising. Oh, sorry, this was a guess only, so this was fine. I think one question I attempted here, this is right. This I was sure was right. And this last set. See, now here you have to think, if I had remained stuck on that set, that Sudoku set, then I would never have had time for the last set. And the last set is where I got most of my marks. Okay, last set is the one that I was able to solve and get all the marks. Now, of course, the first set also I should have got more marks. I should have got 6 marks more. Okay, that is silly mistake. I didn't read properly. That is something else. But what is important here is when you get stuck on the set, don't remain stuck on a set. First set, I spent 15 minutes, but after that, at least I moved on to a different set. And I made sure that I didn't waste even more time on it. Okay, so that at least was a saving grace in DILR. If I look at quant I was pretty happy with. All of this was fine. This was the only guess. So I didn't get any negative marks in quant. And others I'm pretty happy with. Maybe I could have done a little bit more, but I think this was pretty good. So overall, my key takeaways here, if I was planning to take the CAT seriously, like if I was a serious CAT aspirant and I wanted to get a high percentile this year, for VRC, I would take more tests, practice more, and spend time with the solutions. And maybe in the next test, I would decrease my attempts and focus only on the questions on which I was more confident. And I would spend time, a lot of time with every solution after the test. DILR, I would see, I don't think it was a bad performance in DILR. It was just a matter of not being careful enough while reading the question. Okay, partly because of the screen size, partly because maybe I just wasn't careful. I was maybe I was just solving the question quickly. So next time I'll make it a habit that I read the question one last time, make sure that I'm giving the answer to exactly what the question is asking. And quant, I think no real takeaways. Maybe whichever questions I couldn't solve, I'll just try it out and then use the revise with AI function. Okay, overall, not a bad performance. Two silly mistakes based on the uh, same mindset, based on the same thing of not reading the question properly. And VRC, of course, needs a lot of work. So I hope all of you will take something away, not from the final performance, but from the process of taking the test. Okay, the way I approached quant, maybe the way I solved the questions, which I was more confident about, and questions which would take a bit more time, still I came back to it later. DILR, I did not remain stuck on a set. Okay, I made sure that if I was finding the set difficult, even if I had spent 15 minutes, I moved on to a different set. So those are the important things. Those are the things that will help. Now, if any of you have questions, I'll try to pick up some questions. And of course, the most important thing is remaining calm during the test. So I'm sure a lot of people, uh, after that 15 minutes in DILR, a lot of people would have panicked. So that is the thing you have to be developing while you take the SimCATs, the habit of remaining calm. And I'll tell you personally what I do whenever I take a test. I don't expect to do well. I don't keep any target in mind. I did not have a target of 40 in quant or 30 in DILR, one set, two sets, nothing, because targets will just increase the pressure. So I don't keep any target in mind. I just look to keep solving easy questions and never remain stuck on a question for too long. That is the only strategy I follow. There's no magic trick. There's no special solution, special way of taking SimCATs. You have to do the right thing, which is simple. The difficult part is actually sticking to it, being disciplined about it. Okay, so that should be the takeaway. The process of remaining calm, just following the strategy, basically try to become a machine at that time. Of course, you won't be able to, we are all human. But at that time, the ideal is where you're trying to cut down on emotions. You're not trying to become too confident if you are solving questions or underconfident if you can't solve questions. The strategy will remain the same, whatever happens in the CAT this year. Whatever is the difficulty level, you just have to keep looking for easy questions and not remain stuck on a question. Uh, People are asking how to attempt more questions on quant. So I would just say practice, 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 gain experience. Like many of these questions here in quant, I knew that they were easy for me because I had solved similar questions before. See, if you keep solving questions for years, of course, you will become comfortable. For example, this particular question, equal installments. All of you who are IMS students, we've solved these kinds of questions in class. This was slightly different, but the different part was just second installment was 10% less. So that was just a very small adjustment you would have to make. Overall, it was not a very big change from the kind of question we've done in class related to equal installment. Okay, so this was a question, if you've done your class work properly, practice work properly, this was a question you should have definitely been able to solve because of that past experience. So of course, experience matters a lot in every section. This one also, similar questions I've solved before. So I was pretty confident about this. This one, again, I could see 26 by 5, which will be 5 plus 1 by 5. That also I've come across before. Analyzing the log values also, you could see they were reciprocals. Percentages, this is a question all of you should have attempted. Okay, very basic question just based on percentages. When you read it only, you can see that it is easy, that you just have to keep calculating and finding the values. Similarly, for example, this one was also easy, not too difficult if you're comfortable with percentages again. This one I would say was tricky. This is a question that for many of you, it would have made sense to skip if you're not very comfortable with AM, GM and with fractions. Okay, so this still could have been skipped. This one I would say was moderate, definitely two equations, in fact, easy only. Form two equations, but see, one important thing. A lot of you are asking for tips regarding quant. One thing, if you noticed while I was taking this SimCAT, while I was taking quant, many times I use the options. For example, in this question, after I got my equation, I tried checking the options. I checked the first option, that did not work. So then I checked the last option because that was the other extreme. And I'm looking for an option which doesn't work. Because question is asking which of the following cannot be the difference. So try to build the habit to use options to your advantage. Because many times they'll save a lot of time. So question next, if I see where I used options, okay, I'll just give you an idea about this. See, here also I tried to use options, but that didn't work. But more than that, I focused on the powers. I just tried out value. So one thing is that you can try out options, and sometimes the options will work and they will save time. Another thing is try out convenient values. Here I tried out convenient values which were powers, which had power of 3 or power of 5. I did not solve it technically. In fact, there's one more question, if I try to find it, where I just tried out values and those worked. I think this one. So this is another one. I saw that one value turned out to be 16, turned out to be 25. A was 16, C was 25. And after that, A is increasing, C is decreasing so that they become equal. Now, of course, anything was possible. Maybe both of them would have become 19 or more, both of them would have become 21. But you have to think that people are designing these questions. And many times they design these questions with certain convenient values in mind. Now, of course, that's not guaranteed. But first of all, we want to check the probability. If we first try out the convenient value and that works, we'll be saving a lot of time. Even if it doesn't work, we wouldn't have wasted so much time. Like I just checked that if I make both of them 20, 16 to 20 and 25 to 20, then is this condition about Q is equal to 80% of P being satisfied? That was being satisfied. So checking that convenient value saved me a lot of time. Okay, so these are the tips and tricks I can give you, like use the options to your advantage, try out convenient values quickly to see if they work. If they don't work, either you can solve it technically if you have an idea or leave the question. And of course, practice, practice, practice. More you keep practicing, the more experience you will keep gaining. And that way you'll be able to quickly identify which questions you can solve. See, DILR also, again, I missed out on 6 marks because of silly mistake. But ultimately, I'm okay with my set selection. At least the 3 sets which I had a chance with, I tried those out. The Sudoku one, I would say one learning I'll take away from there is that I did not look at the questions before I started with it. If I'd seen the questions, I would have seen that there would be multiple possibilities. And maybe then I would have maybe kept it for later on. And then if I had started with that first set, maybe I would have been a bit more careful with the language. Okay, is there any other question? If you have, you can ask me. Babidi, would I say this was a hard test? Would I score above 130 at your peak? Yeah, I can't say how much I would score at my peak if I was maybe not solving it live or if I was more in touch with VRC. I can't say. Most likely, I would probably score at least 100 plus normally. But I would say this test was a bit challenging. See, VRC again, I don't know because I'm not in touch with it. So I can't really compare it to any of my recent performances. But DILR, I would say that many people would have wasted a lot of time on a set, got stuck on a set, and many people would have found it difficult to solve more than one set. But definitely that bar graph one about the SUVs and so on should have been solved. And even the last one, The arrangement that was a little bit tricky, but it could have been solved. Quant I found it fairly manageable. See, of course, quant is the one section where I usually score the most. That is my most scoring section. But I still think that all of you could have solved 10 questions at least in this quant section. If not 10 questions, maybe 8 questions, and that would have still been pretty good. Again, you will see, all of you will see after every SimCAT that you take, you will always see that you could have done a little bit better. You will see that one or two easy questions you could have solved more. Or maybe if you had read questions carefully, if you had analyzed properly, if you had left questions quickly, which you found difficult, you would have had more time for easy questions. So that is the point, that every SimCAT that you take, don't really feel very happy if you get very good marks or feel very bad if you don't get a good percentile. Because this is not reflective of how you can perform after 4.5 months. This is just the experimentation practice phase. Right now, use the SimCATs to experiment. See whether starting with RCs is better for you or starting with verbal is better. Okay, so try out all of that and use it to make your mistakes. So all of these, in fact, I'm happy that I made these mistakes because now I know that if I work on these in the next SimCAT that I take, I will be very aware of these mistakes. I will know that I will read the question one more time before putting the answer. I will know that for a DILR set, I will not just look at the information. I look at the questions also before deciding whether I should start with the set. So it's a good thing to make your mistakes. Okay, but if you are just focusing on your performance, on your marks and the percentile, then you will not really be analyzing your mistakes very well. And mistakes will continue to be repeated. Okay, so analyze, see what mistakes you are making, and next SimCAT that you take, be very aware of your previous mistakes so that you don't repeat them, and that is where your improvement will come from. Okay, and of course, see, take the test with the mindset that you are not expecting anything. I know a lot of people need targets. A lot of people need that reassurance of having a target in mind that I will attempt this many questions. I want to get this much marks. But very logically, you never know the difficulty level of the test. Maybe what if this SimCAT was a much easier one? Okay, then maybe I would have got much more marks. But if I had kept a target, maybe in this SimCAT, if I had kept a target that I want to get 30 marks in DILR, I want to get 50 marks in quant, during the paper, the pressure of the target would have made it difficult for me to focus on questions. So I recommend not keeping a target. Okay, because you never know the difficulty level and you don't want that pressure when you're taking the test. So just keep looking for easy questions and start the test with zero expectations. In fact, I usually expect to do badly in a test. Even in quant, I never expect to do well. Because when I'm expecting to do badly, then I have no pressure on my mind. And then whatever happens in the test, it will not make me flustered. Okay, so that is what I will recommend with respect to the mindset. And of course, keep practicing and using the tips that I showed you in this video. Okay, so I think this is it. I hope this was a useful session, and those of you who are IMS students, feel free to book a My Plan with me. Feel free if you want a discussion regarding the SimCATs and so on. We can have a one-to-one discussion when you book a My. Okay, bye everyone. See you all later.